There's the first piece of counter in place. That's how it's going to be. I was hoping to get my sink off the floor, but until I finish the top surface, I don't want to put my sink in there because it was a nightmare to get back out. You have to use a screw to get all the clips loose. That was not fun. I don't want to have to redo that again and again and again. So this will add strength to the overall frame. Anyway, I'm going to finish that up. There's the first piece of the kitchen counter in place. And I'm going to bring out a 2-inch piece. I might have to make something myself because it's hanging over 2 inches. And I want to bring a filler in there along the whole entire lip to give it strength and support. So I'll probably make that on the table saw later. Here's part of the reason I was in such a hurry to get my new kitchen done. I've got a massive garden harvest here. Got some stale turnips from last harvest. They'll be fine once they're cooked. Pop them in there. But I don't have room to work in that RV. I've often mentioned that my counter space is about equivalent to this board. And I've got this big garden harvest. Oh, it's beautiful. I've got all kinds of foods in here. All kinds of things. And the problem is you can't really prepare a meal on a workspace the size of a cutting board, and that includes the space to put your pot. It's just not possible. So I'm already using my new kitchen counter. That's why my priorities were to get the countertop done right away. Because I like to make my own meals. It's garden harvest time. I want to use this stuff. I want to eat this stuff. Look at this. I don't know what, I forgot what that's called, but it tastes amazing. Oh, it's going to be a nice soup. Oh, I didn't see that one in there. Garden Harvest Soup. I don't know, you guys might know what this is. I'll show you close up. It's a root vegetable, like a beet type of thing, or a turnip. But I tried one of the greens and it's oh nice. I love it. The turnip greens are really full of bug holes and worms, so I'm not eating them. I gave them to the birds, but the birds didn't seem to want them anyway. They seem a little bit picky. I think that's a little bit too much greens right there. Oh, they'll cook down, won't they? Use them all. Good stuff. See, I'm using my new kitchen. This is the way to go. Obviously, I got a lot more work to do, but being able to use it makes me very happy. Having a kitchen to use. I mean, and look, it's holding up. It's not shaking or bouncing. It's going to be fine. There's a fresh turnip. I love turnips. Actually, I love garden vegetables of all kinds. Fresh ones cut harder. Might be easier to let them get stale. It's funny. So yeah, another garden harvest soup. Keep me fed for days here. I've got tomatoes and onions, and I've got corn and turnips and peppers and whatever this green stuff is, which will cook down. Hope it doesn't fill my pot too much now though. Good stuff. I don't know what that is. I have all these survival seeds from Survival Essentials back when I worked and did their websites, and they gave me a lot of seeds. This is sweet corn, non-GMO. Everything in here is non-GMO. Dried on the plant. That's fine with me. Those greens are nice. Really nice. Sweet corn out of my own garden. See, I don't eat corn from the store because it's genetically modified. It's not good for you. It's not safe to eat. Hope my camera's recording after all that. Find time to think of checking it. Now there were some worms, which definitely proves it was not modified. I knocked the worms off. The new Monsanto modified corn kills bugs instantaneously if they take a bite out of the corn. So I'm not into that. Look at all those tomatoes. Oh wow. I'll show you a close-up in a minute. Well, the cherry tomatoes I just got. Crazy amount of tomatoes from my garden. I love the fact that I can use my countertop here. I've got a space to work. That's a good thing. And it feels comfortable with the 2-inch overhang. I was unsure about that overhang, but yeah, it works. So look at all these. Oh, it's a heap of tomatoes. That's heavy. That's a big bowl. That's a lot of tomatoes. Now I'm not going wild on cutting them. I'm just going to halve them. Cook them up. Cherry tomatoes. Just fill this pot. I want to fill this pot. I'm going to throw a little bit of rice in there too though. The birds ate well. Any tomato that split and cracked as I was opening it, well, most of them, I missed a few, but any that was already split, any that cracked while I was opening it or taking them off the vine, any that were overripe, that didn't look good, the birds got. They were loving it. Should have recorded that. The birds make some funny sounds when they're excited. It's really funny. Look at that, my new countertop already being used and I'm not even done making it. Isn't that amazing? I mean, look at how comfortable this is. I got enough sunlight to see what I'm doing. I've got space to work. I'm comfortable. I've been doing all my meals outside because I just don't have space in that RV. But honestly, it's a little bit too hot outside today and the gnats are driving me insane. So hey, why not use my new counter? I've got it now. Of course, I'm going to finish it with pallet wood when I'm done. Oops, there's one for the birds. Oh. Well, I'm going to fill up this pot. I've got some onions in there and chili peppers and everything. It's going to be good. Well, I'm just excited that I'm using my new kitchen counter. I like it. Look at that. I can't do that anywhere else. I love it. There's my kitchen so far, spanning all the way in the whole length of literally one half of the house. The countertop that I just used already, my garden harvest soup, and the space for the sink, and I've still got to cut the pieces for the front here and for the back lip. And then there's another workspace, and there's the stove just sitting in there, and then another workspace over here. So it's gonna be good. I've got to cut these pieces on the front lips, so I've got my overhang for the countertop, and along the back edges, neatly fitted around the main beam here. So it's big. That's what I wanted. I wanted a really nice sized kitchen, nice workspace, very important. And with all the experiments and projects I do, this counter space right here is probably going to be used a lot for other things. But I'm going to become self-sufficient by the end of the next year, and that means processing a lot of food. There's going to be deer and fish and tomatoes and maple syrup and all kinds of stuff being processed in this kitchen. That's why the size of it is important. For self-sufficiency, you need a larger kitchen. I don't care what anybody tells you. It's hard, very, very hard to work in a tiny space like that RV. Especially preparing bulk produce like garden harvest and putting away a massive amount. I know people do it. I'm not saying they don't, but I like the space. So, nice overview of the kitchen. Well, I'm just going to keep going with the front edges, get them on, and get the piece under the overhang, so that's supported here all the way along. Might as well do that first, and then I can go ahead and fit the lips on the front and then trim the pieces for the back. That's good. I've put the lip on here. This is scrap 2x2. Fits almost perfectly, and that gives extra strength to the whole system. It's solid. It's really solid. Again, I'm going to reinforce down below and across this way and down this way on these legs. So it's really going to be strong. I'm probably going to go overkill, but still, I'll have cast iron pots full of food on these things, so I got to make sure it's really strong. Some of the cutoffs that I have fit perfectly back here, so that's nice. I'll be using them. And the one cutoff fits on that front lip there. So I'm using all the scraps. It's working out well. Let me take you outside and show you what I'm doing. I need some more of these 2x2s. Another one. It's not too much work. Knocking these out. It's all these pallets. I'm still using the lumber. I'm so happy I got it all. Go on more pallets. They're clean. These things are shipped without oil anyway. So that one's got some staples to clean out. But here I've got 3 more boards ready to go, and at the table I simply pull out those staples Pliers are good for that. It's working fine. They're long. Recycling wood, making my whole entire kitchen out of recycled materials. I don't think I've got a new item in there except for the screws. Pretty cool. Oh, and I forgot the plywood that I'm using, this leftover scraps. I did buy the plywood. Well, there's a clean board. I'll take these in and fit them on. Oh, there's a couple screws in there. I gotta clean them all up. Alright. Looking more and more like a kitchen. I've got the reinforcing lip for the countertop. Comes out to the edge. And I've got the piece sitting in there for the in front of the stove. I still have to screw it. I want to glue that in, screw it down. And then I need a filler in the back. And then the two for the sink. And that'll be it for the top of the counter for now until I work on that pallet wood. Which I might just do in the next couple days here because I'm tired of bumping around these the stovetop and the sink. And honestly, as soon as I have them usable, then I can start using the house. One of the big things slowing me down is I can't abandon the RV to the elements until I'm ready. I have to get it winterized, and a halfway job is just a mess. So that's why. But it's coming along. I'll have to quit pretty soon now. I think I'll just finish filling these in before I have to go to church today. But I'll have the top done, and then I've got to clean up that pallet wood, glue them together, and then I'll paint them, and then put them down, varnish them, and I've got myself a countertop. I'll just cut this piece to fit right here by the sink. Nice fit. This is probably overkill, but I just want to make sure it holds up well. The sink is going to have a lot of activity at it. A lot of action, a lot of work going on at the sink. Plus it'll help reinforce this frame nicely. Feels pretty solid already. Nice. So, whoops, kicked the camera. One last piece to cut in the back, and then I'll have my entire countertop pieced in. And then I'm done for the day, and I have to get ready for church. Actually, they're almost there already. All I have to do is cut that. Or I mean glue it. Actually, I have to trim it a little bit because that kitchen sink fits pretty tight right there. You have to trim that. I don't know if I can trim that on the not sure if I can trim that thin little piece on the circular saw. I might have to run that on the table saw when I fire up the generator next. I think that's it for today. That's going to have to be it. Oh well, not too bad for a day of work. Still got a lot to do down there on the bottom section. Well, in the legs and feet, which I mentioned earlier, but there's the kitchen. All the way back. All the way to the back wall. Plenty of workspace. I like it. So I wanted it. No more tiny little kitchens for me. And the cost, besides the extra screws there, was $0. It was all recycled lumber. Almost the entire kitchen was recycled materials. Not bad, huh?